The year was 1994. In the effervescence of the fashion decade, a name shone with unbridled intensity. Gianni Versace, the master of Italian haute couture, was revered not only for his creations but also for his audacity and boldness. His fashion shows were eagerly awaited events, hearkening to grand operas spectacles, and his presence in the fashion scene was a force of nature. It was in this scenario of great anticipation and fascination that one of the most emblematic moments in fashion history occurred. It was July in Paris, the city of lights and glamour. Gianni Versace was preparing to present his Atelier Versace collection for fall-winter 1994-95. The backstage corridors pulsed with electric energy as models adorned in stunning creations prepared to walk before an eager audience. And then she entered. Claudia Schiffer, the epitome of elegance and beauty, was the embodiment of charming femininity, clad in an outfit that would make even the fashion gods bow in reverence. She captured the hearts and minds of all present. In that fleeting yet eternal moment, the Versace blue dress became more than just a fashion piece. It became a symbol of power, beauty, and audacity, a testament to the enduring legacy of Gianni Versace and an eternal reminder of the transformative power of fashion. Hello collectors, welcome back to The Big Collector, your channel for unboxing reviews of collectible Barbies here on YouTube. Today, we will appreciate one of the world's most iconic models, but in Barbie form. Today, Claudia Schiffer versus Versace Barbie. Claudia Schiffer, born in Germany in 1970, is one of the most recognized and influential supermodels in fashion history. Her angelic face, reminiscent of Brigitte Bardot, and her slender body quickly made her a runway favorite in the 90s. She not only raced the covers of fashion magazines but also became the face of iconic brands like Chanel, Versace, and Guess. It was only a matter of time before the famous model was honored in Barbie form. In 2017, a unique and special representation was created capturing Claudia Schiffer's iconic likeness in a golden Versace ensemble. This emblematic outfit was immortalized by the model during a photoshoot titled Claudia, the Real Barbie, photographed for Vogue Italy in July 1994. Although this Barbie one-of-a-kind was not mass-produced, its singular presence remained a significant moment at the intersection of fashion and pop culture. It as if it were Barbie dressed as Claudia, who in turn was dressed as Barbie, creating a fascinating metaphor for the reciprocal influence between fashion and fantasy. In 2020, Mattel surprised us again, this time with two dolls, one representing a photo shoot in the main dress and the other representing her in the iconic Versace dress from 1994. Collectors clamored for the production of those dolls. Soon, rumors began to circulate, suggesting that one of the two versions would become a production doll. After an anxious wait, full of ups and downs with rumors of cancellation or that it was all just a dream of collectors, finally, 3 years later, it arrived. The Barbie Claudia Schiffer vs. Versace. The box housing the doll is notably large, wider than the traditional Barbie packaging. It combines a cardboard structure with an acetate front, adorned with blue and gold finishes that perfectly harmonize with the doll's aesthetic. A touch of elegance is added with the name Barbie Claudia Schiffer and Versace in golden letters on the acetate itself. Just below, the inscription, Barb's signature. On the back of the box, a sketch represents the famous dress, accompanied by a description highlighting the significance and importance of this doll. Upon opening the box from the top, its contents are easily revealed. The backdrop was carefully chosen to recreate the iconic photo that immortalized this look, transporting us directly to the runway where Claudia Schiffer shone in this dress. It's as if the doll were parading on the same stage, bringing to life all the glamour and sophistication of the original event. Each doll comes with a certificate of authenticity issued by Mattel, attesting the originality and exclusivity within the Barbie signature collection. The label identifies this specimen as part of the Platinum Label series, which, theoretically, should restrict production to a maximum of 5,000 units worldwide. However, controversy arose with the first leaks in Europe, where certificates indicated a limited run of only 1,000 dolls. This early announcement triggered a frenzy among collectors who feared missing out on the opportunity to acquire one with such a limited run. American dolls, on the other hand, came with certificates of authenticity for 5,000 units, as is the case with my own doll. There was a speculation that the European units would be numbered from 1 to 1,000, while the American ones would occupy the range from 1,001 to 5,000. However, this theory was quickly debunked when certificates with various numbering began to appear online, further confusing the situation and fueling debates among collectors. The Platinum Label series have individual numbering for each unit produced. Mine, for example, is the number 201, which shows that European dolls were not necessarily distributed in a sequence from 1 to 1,000 as many believed. This lack of clarity about the exact quantity of dolls produced fueled controversy, leaving collectors without definitive information and making this edition one of the most controversial, in terms of numbers, within the Barbie collectible line. This difference can also be observed externally, as the boxes are also different. The doll also comes with a stand. The base of the stand is a bright blue in harmony with the color of the doll's dress. The rod, which attaches at the waist, can be problematic. When attached, it tends to open the doll's dress, and, if positioned too low, it can allow the heel to bend. A leg or pelvis support could have been a more suitable choice for this doll, avoiding these inconveniences and preserving the integrity of the dress and the doll's posture. Claudia Schiffer's high-heeled sandals are simple and blue, with a buckle sculpted at the ankle, adding an interesting detail. Despite the good modeling, these shoes seem not to meet the expectations for a Platinum Label series dolls, theoretically the most elaborate in the Barbie line. The doll's dress is sewn to the body at the back, while at the front and shoulders, Mattel chose to use glue to keep the dress in place. The dress is one of the most criticized elements of the doll. It is an empire-style model, characterized by a high waist located just below the bust, from where the rest of the fabric flows freely to the end of the dress. This design is known for its elegance and for giving a light-net silhouette, which should highlight the doll's aesthetic. The opening at the back is closed with plastic snap buttons, which are significantly more appropriate for a collectible doll than alternatives like Velcro. The buttons not only maintain a more refined aesthetic, but also are less likely to damage the fabric over time, an important consideration for collectors who value the preservation of their pieces. The dress, although visually appealing, falls short of what was presented in the doll's prototype. Specifically, the bust does not fit properly to the contour of the doll's body, resulting in a fit that appears straight and awkward over the chest. Additionally, the fabric used differs significantly from the original, conveying the impression of being a cheaper and lower quality version, which is especially disappointing considering the expectations surrounding a collectible item. It is understandable that producing fine details in large-scale production can be challenging without significantly increasing the product cost. However, the downgrade in the quality of this doll's dress is so evident that it is difficult to justify or minimize the issue. The discrepancy between the prototype and the final product seriously compromises my expectations as a collector. The bottom part of the dress, made of a fabric suggesting slightly better quality, display a charming transparency that was one of the highlights of the original dress. This feature, at least, captures some of the expected charm and sophistication, giving the doll a touch of elegance and authenticity that aligns with the original design's inspiration. The fabric of the bottom part of the dress has a shade of blue very close to the real dress, which is a positive detail in terms of visual fidelity. To the touch, the fabric is somewhat rough, a result of the shiny finish applied to emulate the original texture. Internally, the dress is lined just above the knee, ensuring a more refined finish. A Barbie signature tag inside reinforces its authenticity. Despite removing the fastening points that helped the dress fit while inside the box, I noticed that the change to a button closure only did not significantly alter the doll's aesthetic. One of the biggest issues with this dress seems to be in the doll's packaging itself. This is not a simple representation of Claudia Schiffer. It is a tribute to the collaboration between Claudia Schiffer and Versace. Therefore, when associating a doll with a prestigious brand like Versace, one expects the product quality to match the brand's reputation. Unfortunately, the dress falls short of these expectations, lacking in terms of finish and details that should reflect Versace's luxury and excellence. In this case, the dress exhibits average quality and improper fit, raising questions about how Versace, known for its excellence and high fashion design, authorized the production of an item that does not seem to meet its standards. This aspect is particularly frustrating, considering the expectation of sophistication and detailing that accompanies any product associated with such an iconic brand. The doll itself is visually appealing. The hair is platinum blonde, true to Claudia Schiffer's style, and the fiber quality is good, showing little box hair. Although there is a significant amount of glue used to keep the hair curls intact during transport, this does not necessarily represent a negative point. Depending on the collector's preference, this glue can be removed relatively easily, allowing greater flexibility in styling and handling the doll's hair. The doll's face sculpt is notably similar to Claudia Schiffer, and in my perception, it appears to be the same as that used in the prototype. This is noteworthy, especially considering that, on some occasions, there have been significant changes between the prototype design and the final production version of other dolls, as was the case with Yara Shahid. The doll's eyebrows are not detailed hair by hair, but effectively capture the essence of the personality they intend to honor. The eyes are a striking blue, enhanced by a slightly darker eyeshadow, with touches of silver on the sides, adding depth and a certain glamour to the doll's gaze. The details, while not extremely meticulous, are well executed and contribute significantly to the overall expression of the doll, reflecting the visual identity of the figure it represents. The doll's lipstick is a discreet shade of pink, subtly complementing her makeup, while the same open boot adds a modern detail to her look. Although I generally do not prefer dolls that show teeth, in this case, this feature is essential to capture the vivacity of the model's personality. It truly reinforces Claudia Schiffer's iconic presence on a smaller scale. Mattel, despite shortcomings in previous releases, has consistently shown itself capable of accurately reproducing the faces of female personalities in the Barbie scale, maintaining the authenticity and detail that collectors value. The doll's body is of pivotal type, an innovation that was initially introduced in the Jazz Baby collection. This model is a variation of the traditional model muse body, offering greater flexibility with additional articulations. It allows movements in the neck, arms, forearms, hands, bust, legs with a good opening angle, and knees, giving the doll a variety of possible poses. However, the feet remain in a fixed heel position, limiting the variety of shoes that can be used. There are no earrings, necklaces, bracelets. The nails of the hands and feet are not painted. Finally, having hands such an eagerly awaited doll is always rewarding experience. The early exposure of the prototype and the interval between its revelation and the official release fueled our expectations, perhaps raising them beyond reasonable. This anticipation may have created an idealized vision of what the doll would be, impacting our perception of the final product. Although the doll did not fully meet these high expectations, the value of having a Barbie-sized representation of such iconic fashion figure as Claudia Schiffer and a replica of a dress designed by Gianni Versace is undeniable. For me, These elements outweigh the less satisfactory aspects and make this Barbie a treasure for any fashion lover or Barbie collector. In summary, the Barbie Claudia Schiffer Versace is not just a collectible doll. It is a tribute to fashion history. Just as the Versace dress worn by Claudia Schiffer in 1994 lasting impact on the fashion industry, this doll is a tangible representation of that legacy. It reminds us not only of the influence of supermodel Claudia Schiffer and designer Gianni Versace, but also of the transformative power of fashion in our culture. By collecting and appreciating this doll, we are celebrating not only beauty and elegance, but also the creativity and innovation that shape the world of fashion. May it continue to inspire future generations of fashion enthusiasts and collectors, keeping alive the memory of a truly iconic moment in fashion history. If you, like me, are passionate about fashion or about collector, this edition brings elements that transcend minor imperfections. It is a celebration of fashion, art, and history wrapped into one doll. And thus, we conclude our unboxing and analysis of this Barbie Platinum label, a tribute to Claudia Schiffer and the incomparable Gianni Versace. Although we have identified some areas where the doll could have been improved, the historical and cultural aspects it represents add immeasurable value to the piece. Don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed the analysis, subscribe to the channel for more unboxings, and leave your comment below about your impressions of this Barbie. Which other fashion icon would you like to see in the Barbie collection? Share your ideas!